All right. I know we just had a few new people join. Right now, we're doing a quick icebreaker. We're just popping into the chat box if you are currently using a newsletter system. And if so, what platform are you using? So, like for us, for Tabletop, we use Mailchimp, and a lot of our clients actually use Mailchimp. And then a few folks who do use Constant Contact that we work with. So I'm seeing a couple answers. So John is saying that he's currently not doing a newsletter yet, but he's thinking of using one, possibly using Mailchimp. Carol is not using one at the moment, same as Gracie. Amy Woodhouse, she's saying that she has Mailchimp, but she feels like she barely knows how to use it. Totally feel you on there. Definitely a learning curve on a lot of these platforms, and you have to really get in there and start utilizing it. Sherry Jones from the Small Business Center, she is saying that she has access to Constant Contact as part of the Small Business Association, but she hasn't had the time to learn the ins and outs of it yet. So all good info. Well, cool. Well, we'll go ahead and I'm just going to make sure that all the participants are muted. And I'd just like to remind everybody on the Zoom call, just make sure that your mic is on mute. That way there's no crazy feedback or anything. But we'll go ahead and get started now that it's 10:01. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All righty. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started today, and we're going to be talking about contact management tools. So we'll go over that today. Basically, think of it as a newsletter system and a way to easily categorize your audience and have them segmented out into different categories. So like gender or when they are signing up for your newsletter, etc. So I always like to start off just by quickly introducing the team. So it's really nice to meet all of you guys. My name is Kristen. I know that it says my name is Stacy on the Zoom call today, but my name is Kristen, and I am the one in the bottom for those of you who are just joining us for the very first time. So I'm in the bottom and the little snakeskin top, the second one from the left. So this is our awesome team. We're made up of some freelancers and then also some full-time folks on our team. We are a marketing agency. We primarily specialize in food, beverage, and agriculture, and then some lifestyle brands. So we work with a lot of really fantastic restaurants in North Carolina, some awesome farmers, etc. So I did want to put up our contact information. It will also be available at the end of the presentation, and then you will get a copy of the recording and the slides from Sherry, who's also on this call today. So that's all of our contact info. Feel free to reach out to me after the presentation if you have follow-up questions. I know a few of you have been doing that, and I've been super happy to help to answer those. And then also, I'd love for you to follow us on social media. Our handle is at Tabletop Media GP. And a quick thank you as well. I know, I believe Sherry is still on right now. So Sherry is from the Vance Granville Community College, and she works with small businesses. So she's with the Small Business Center, and that's who is bringing you this series today, along with the Warren County Economic Development Commission. And Stacy Woodhouse, who I am logged in under on Zoom, he's the director there. And he's a great colleague of mine, and I'm super excited that Sherry and Stacy have believed in Tabletop to lead this awesome series about doing business remotely. I feel like it's a very timely type of series, and I hope that these tools are going to help your business. So today's topic, all things contact management. So we're going to go over 5 main things. So number 1, what's the purpose of all these contact management tools? We're going to go over a tool that I actually recently learned about called MooSend. I know it's kind of a funny name, but it's a pretty cool platform and quite affordable for folks. Number 3, we're going to go over Emma. And then number 4, Constant Contact. And number 5, Mailchimp. We'll do more of a deep dive into Mailchimp just because that is a personal preference of mine, but I feel like a lot of people really are utilizing Mailchimp. It is definitely one of the most popular platforms out there. So we'll do a deep dive into that. The other 3 we'll kind of briefly go over just so you can see what the back end looks like. And if those really speak to you, I always encourage do a quick free trial, test it out, and see if you like it before buying. So, what's the purpose of these types of tools? What exactly is email marketing? So, the purpose of email marketing is to obviously promote your business, and it's used to cultivate relationships with potential customers. And you can, of course, use email to keep your current customers informed and updated about your brand. So, for instance, say we're launching a newsletter for a restaurant client. It's a great way for us to send out like a weekly specials. So, what kind of weekly specials are coming up? Maybe the restaurant's hosting live music or a trivia night. So that's a great tool to use to keep everybody updated. Another huge piece of email marketing is offering coupons or just like, special discounts or codes to encourage customer loyalty. So one thing that I've seen that's really fun in the restaurant world is actually releasing like a secret menu or a secret menu item. So one thing that's kind of fun is one of the restaurants that I follow in the Raleigh area will send out to their newsletter subscribers that, hey, we have a secret taco this week, and it's going to be like a fried tilapia taco, and you can only get it because you know about this through our newsletter. So that's kind of a fun way to keep people intrigued and give them like a perk for following you. And then also newsletters are way more efficient. So direct form of marketing, of course, is a newsletter. So it directly goes into somebody's inbox. And it's kind of similar to snail mail, but way more affordable, because sometimes these platforms that we're going to talk about are totally free up to a certain number of subscribers. So instead of spending, like 50 cents to $1 on snail mail, this is totally free. And then also it's better for the environment. So yesterday was Earth Day, so I just wanted to throw that in there, but it's totally paperless. So definitely a great way to save money for you and also to help save the environment. So what exactly is email marketing software? So those are the types of things that we're going to go over today. So there's a lot of software out there and automation tools that make email marketing an absolute breeze. So the software is what enables you to send out emails, and it also allows you to monitor how your subscribers interact with your emails. So many of these tools will actually give you real-time analytics about who all is opening your emails, who's not opening your emails, and then you can track even click-through rates. So how many people actually clicked on a link that you put in that email. And then you can also see bounce rates. So bounce rates are something like, say, you're emailing it to John, who's on our call, but maybe you have the wrong email address for John. So it'll let you know that it bounced back. So that's what a bounce rate is. So you're able to go in there, see what emails are bouncing, delete them, or maybe you had a typo in the email and you can change that. And then it will also allow you to track conversions. So some of these email marketing softwares allow you to put in or to integrate like your online store. So I don't know if some of you are using things like Shopify or other tools out there to sell products online for your business, but you can actually integrate those into your newsletter and see how many sales are coming to your business because of your newsletter. So I'll give you a quick example of that. We have a client who's a pork producer in Eastern North Carolina, and we manage her Mailchimp account. And she sells all of her pork products through a system called BigCommerce. So BigCommerce is a really excellent platform if you're wanting to sell things directly to consumers online. And so she simply added in her BigCommerce information into the back end of her Mailchimp account when she's sending newsletters. And so every time we send out a newsletter, it results in at least $1,000 of sales for her, which is huge. She has a really big email list, so her audience is quite large, and she sends out her newsletter about once every other week, so twice a month. So, I mean, that's just a great example right there about how you can make money just by sending out newsletters. And she'll do flash sales and fun things like that to really keep people intrigued and following her on her newsletter. So what's the benefit of all of this email marketing over other methods of marketing? So like I said, it goes directly into your inbox. And I gave a great example of the pork producer. So people are seeing this directly into their inbox and taking action. So I think that's something really cool. And there's a survey that backs it up. There's a survey that found that an astounding 75% of adult online users say email marketing is actually their preferred marketing method. So you can really see that it works. So a lot of people are using email to get their information and to be alerted when there's new products from your company, et cetera. And then 94% of internet users use email. So I think that you can really reach a great deal of internet users, even if they're not on social media through your newsletter. So now we're going to dive into some of the different types of softwares that are available out there. So this is one, like I said earlier in the presentation when we got started, MooSend. I know it's kind of a funny name, but this one is a fairly intuitive platform to use. I really like it. I haven't spent a ton of time on it, but I've definitely have done a little bit of research, and I think it's certainly a tool that some of you might be interested in using. So I wanted to play a quick video for you guys. So I'm going to open this up real quick. All right, so that was just a quick video so you could see what the back end of MooSend looks like. So as you can see, it was very intuitive on just dragging and dropping and building out a newsletter template. So back in the old days, a lot of these softwares did not have drag and drop enabled. And so you actually had to use HTML. So you had to code and have like a serious background knowledge on coding in order to create a newsletter. So I think most of these platforms have really come a long way and have just a very intuitive backend now to where you can like drag and drop photos. You can easily crop photos, resize them directly into the newsletter platform. And what I really like about MooSend is you can like drag and drop text on top of images and change the colors really quickly. So I think it's a really beautiful backend platform and something that I would highly recommend you guys trying out. And so we'll get into 4 kind of interesting functions of MooSend. So like I said, the HTML, like coding types of programs are definitely not needed for this one. So it's drag and drop. It means that professional designs are just one click away. You can easily add in photos, crop within the platform, and put text over the images or in the body of your email. So don't sweat it if you don't know HTML because everything is built in right here in the platform. So then we'll hear a lot about segmentation during this presentation. So segmentation is made super simple with MooSend and many of these other platforms. So what exactly is segmentation? So you can break down your audience based on their behaviors and other different options like gender, their age range, the last purchase time, types of products they've purchased, and so on. So this is a little bit more advanced as you get into building out your contacts in your software system, but you can make things very personalized for them. So you'll see I put a little image right here from MooSend from their website. So you'll see you can look at their email address and you can toggle like certain groups of them and say that all of these email addresses and people are male. And they're also less than age 45 is what this example is. So say you wanted to send a newsletter. I saw one from Fitbit when I was doing some research for this presentation. Fitbit had used an example where they sent all the women purple Fitbits. or pink Fitbits in their newsletter. Whereas whenever they sent men the newsletter announcing the new Fitbit was being released, they sent all the men blue or black Fitbits. So that was kind of an interesting way about how segmenting it out for gender, for instance, would be a great idea when you're launching a new product. So you're making sure that the men aren't getting the hot pink Fitbit. So number 3 interesting function about MooSend is that there's really fast data analytics. So MooSend will track your opens, your clicks, your social shares, and unsubscribes with the help of powerful analytics. So this is also another graphic that I pulled from MooSend's backend. So this was for a newsletter that had gone out, and it will show you how many people opened it based on mobile, how many people opened it on the desktop. It will show you how many people clicked links that were in your newsletter. So for this example, 12.4% of all the subscribers that this was sent to clicked a link, which is pretty good. And then it'll show you the bounce rate. So only 0.1% bounced. So that might mean only like one email actually bounced. And then it'll show you that 82% of people had not opened this yet. So that's just a great tool to use to see who's actually opening your emails, what's working, what's not working. So I always say, look at your analytics and tweak future newsletters based on these analytics. So maybe it was your subject line wasn't as catchy. So next time, create a catchier subject line and see if that helps to increase your unique opens. So then MooSend is also your designer. So what I really like about this one is I think it's probably one of the better platforms that has really beautiful looking templates built in. So they have more than 40 templates that are already built in. They're really responsive templates. They're up to date. And so they like to say, you'll never envy an email campaign again. So you can see these were just a few examples that I pulled from their website, but the graphics look really nice. The font and different like integrations that they have on here, like buttons that you can add or social media handles look really nice. So highly recommend getting in the back end and checking out what types of templates they have. So it's pretty easy to use. You just select the template and then you can pop in your own logos, your own photos and text, and then easily send it off. So the pricing, I thought this was really flexible for a small business. So I know some of our clients, some of the restaurants, for instance, might have more than 1,000 subscribers. So they would probably have to use a platform that's a little bit pricier. But for most people just starting out, chances are your list might be under 1,000. So I think this was really flexible. So they have a free forever pricing tier, which is 1,000 subscriber limit. And then you can send unlimited emails, which is also huge. And then there's that reporting and analytics built in as well. So the pricing does increase based on the number of subscribers you have. So if you're somebody that's been keeping up with an email list forever and you have thousands, then I would definitely take a look at their website and get some more details on pricing. So it does increase as your subscribers increase. So next up, we're going to talk about Emma. I will tell you guys it's a little bit pricier because there is a lot of backend analytics and commerce ability that's built in. So for those of you who are selling products, I would say Emma is a really wonderful platform to take a look at. So we're going to watch another quick video just to see what the backend platform looks like of Emma. Alrighty.
At Emma, we've spent over a decade helping marketers do their very best work and have a great time while they're at it. It's why over 50,000 organizations around the world choose Emma for their email marketing. Create gorgeous email fast using our unbeatably stylish template designs. Or code your own if you like. Emma is fully customizable. But it's more than sending beautiful email. It's building a smarter email marketing program that drives the results you care about. Connect Emma to your favorite services and use your data to power highly targeted campaigns that reach the right people at the right time, wherever they are. Learn more about your audience and see what's working in real time across all of your devices. With Emma, you get more than a powerful email platform. you get a whole services team ready to dive into your email design, marketing strategy, and technical needs to get your best results ever. We're Emma. Contact us to start building a smarter email marketing program today.
All right, guys, so that was just a quick video so you could see what the back end of the Emma platform looks like. And we'll dive in now to some of the interesting functions of Emma. So number one is marketing automation. So you can actually trigger different targeted messages based on your subscribers' activity. So what exactly does all that mean? So say, for instance, I am one of your newsletter subscribers and I just purchased a product. So you can actually keep all this data inside of Emma's platform and know that Kristen just bought a pair of shoes from my boutique. So next up, I'm going to trigger her a targeted message to go out and buy, something to go along with her shoes. So maybe it's like a new pair of leggings that would match my shoes. So you can get really, really specific in here. So like I mentioned earlier, it's really good for people that are selling things. Another example would be maybe I just signed up for your newsletter. So you could have different tiers. So day one, as soon as I sign up, I get a tiered targeted message. So it's a welcome message that just introduces you to my spa. Let's say I'm a spa. And then in a couple days, you're going to send me another newsletter, since I just subscribed, that lets you know, hey, since you're one of our new newsletter followers, I'm giving you a free service with a purchase of $50. Or something along those lines. And then maybe the person doesn't redeem it. You could send them another email letting them know that this offer still stands, and hey, we're going to throw in another offer for you on top of that. So it's pretty cool how you can schedule out different tiers of messages. So it's a little bit more advanced than some of the other platforms like MooSend that we just talked about. So Emma is really great for people that are selling things. So another cool part about Emma is that there's A/B testing. So some of you may have never even heard of A/B testing. It's definitely one of these terms that's thrown around a lot in the email newsletter marketing realm. So A/B testing essentially is giving your audience a vote and how they would like for you as the company to market to them. So you can test different aspects of your email with a small percentage of your audience, and then you can send whatever is the winning email to the rest of your list. So this is super cool and something that I've used a lot of in Mailchimp for some of our clients. So it can be as simple as this example down here, where maybe you change just the background image. So you'll see the winner was actually the one that was more cartoon-like and had a pretty orange, vibrant color, whereas the other one of just the regular old picture didn't do as well. So maybe it was just a different photo that you used, or maybe you're gonna just do A/B testing on your subject line. Maybe you use some emojis on your subject line, and then the other one you don't use emojis. So which one did your audience actually interact with? So A/B testing is pretty cool. And before committing to sending out one newsletter to your whole audience, it will test out what email is the winner, and then it will send the winning one to the rest of your list. So it's a great way to perhaps get even more open rates and click rates. So drag and drop, that's another really great function of a lot of these email marketing softwares that we're going to go over today. But drag and drop on Emma, you can easily drag and drop content elements like text boxes, image placeholders, even video blocks, which I think is really great, and social media buttons. So say you just launched new running shoes. We'll go back to that example. And maybe somebody came out and just filmed a quick 30-second video of somebody running in the shoes, really nice close-up of them, etc. So you could put that video front and center on your email campaign, and then it'll automatically play and it looks really awesome. And then people are instantly going to want to buy those shoes. And then you could drag and drop a button that says buy now, and easily somebody can click on that button and take you to your website link where they can go ahead and buy those running shoes. So it's really cool. You can see I included just a quick example down here of different types of buttons that you can drag and drop. So you'll see you can drag and drop one image, a set of images, video. You can add in like dividers on the newsletter, etc. And we'll get into that more on the Mailchimp backend, and I'll actually show you how to build a newsletter at the end of the presentation. So then number 4, as an interesting functions for Emma, is that you can approve every send. So Emma has a really great review process. So I would say, like, if you're a company where maybe you're going to have like an intern working on building out your newsletters, but you need to approve it as the business owner, or, you know, so on, something like that. It's a really great system for approvals. So what Emma will do is it will actually allow you to create an approval on the back end. So it really does save you time and simplifies the review process to use this tool. So before each email is sent, it's delivered directly to your approvals dashboard. So when you log into Emma, you have this main dashboard, and you'll see that you have a notification that you have an approval. So as the business owner, I'll log in, my summer intern has created my newsletter, I'll have a notification that I have an approval. So I'll quickly be able to click right there on it. I can review the content. I can toggle over and see how my newsletter is going to look on mobile devices, which is huge since a lot of us open emails on mobile. I can also see what it looks like on a tablet. And then number 3, what it looks like on a desktop. And then I can quickly go in there and comment and suggest changes, and I can approve or deny that the newsletter should be sent out. So if I did say, you know, summer intern did a great job, let's go ahead and send it, I can easily go ahead inside the approval dashboard and say, okay, looks good, I'm going to send it now on Thursday at 9:05 a.m. So I can get really specific and say when I want to send it, and then Emma will automatically send out that campaign. So I really love their approval backend. Most of the contact management systems have an approval where you can send just a test email to certain people, and it will just get sent to them in their email inbox, and you can look at it that way. A lot of them don't really have this sophisticated backend. So that is another kind of perk of Emma. So we'll talk about pricing. So Emma is a little bit more expensive. Like I said, the Pro plan starts at $89 a month, but you do get a really good bang for your buck with that price, especially if you have a lot of contacts in your audience. So this Pro plan allows for 10,000 contacts, which is really huge. And I did include a link that you will get after the presentation, but I did include a link to their pricing chart. So you'll see that they have a Pro plan that I said is $89 a month. They also have a Plus plan, which is $159 a month. And then the Emma HQ, this is for like really large brands or franchise businesses, that are $279 a month. So I think for most of you, if you're a small business, the Pro plan would be your best bet. And you can go and just really like kind of dive in and see what all you get access to. So you will get access to like their A/B testing that we talked about. It will only allow you to have one user. So that is something that's a little bit of a limitation. But if you wanted to jump up to the Plus plan, you see that you can now have 10 different people working on the back end of your email system. So something that's a great tool right there, just to take a look at all of their different pricings. So constant contact is the next one. I know that Sherry on the webinar today had mentioned that her business is looking into using constant contact. And we have a couple of people that have, you know, maybe tried it, but haven't really dove into it. So we do want to go over a brief overview of this. And I want you guys to watch this quick video just to see what the back end of the platform looks like. I always think it's really helpful just to get a peek and see some of the differences in some of the other platforms. All right, we'll see if this will load for us. So that was just a quick video to see what the back end of the platform looks like. I know it was kind of fast, but we'll definitely dive in a little bit more to this one as well. So some of the interesting functions of Constant Contact. Number one is that you can drive more sales in less time automatically. So like I mentioned in the previous Emma platform, you can actually tier different things out. So Constant Contact is similar. So say somebody just subscribed to your newsletter on your website, you can actually have a timely welcome email that gets sent to them. And then you can trigger different email series based on where contacts clicked. So I don't know if you guys have ever noticed this, like when you're out shopping for something online, maybe you click on like a new mattress and you've signed up for their newsletter, then they'll start sending you different types of email series based on the fact that you clicked on that one mattress purchase. I notice it a lot in like the beauty industry. I'll shop for like some of my face products online, and as soon as I like click on something and I've subscribed to their newsletter, they'll start sending me very targeted emails based on the products that I was interested in, and sometimes even the products that I've bought. So it'll remind me like in 30 days, like, hey, do you need more of that face cream that you bought? Click here and we're going to give you a discount, buy one, get one free. So I get a lot of those. It's pretty cool and smart on the business's back end to use email tiers like this. And then another kind of fun function about Constant Contact and some of the other ones is that you can automatically resend emails to non-openers. So the worst thing is when you've spent all this time creating an email campaign and then maybe half of your people did not open your email. So it will actually automatically resend it to people who did not open it in hopes that they will now open it. So that's a really great function. And then you can expand your reach with powerful list building tools. So I don't know if you remember seeing in that quick video where you can actually embed different widgets or pop-ups on your website. So say, for instance, somebody is logging on to your farm's website. Maybe there's a pop-up that immediately happens like, hey, get 10% off of your first purchase with us if you're a new user, sign up for our email. And so that's when you're seeing some of that, it's integrated into a system like Constant Contact when you put in your email. So what happens is as the customer that I've now logged onto your farm's website, I've inserted my email address and it will automatically add me into a segmented list that says newsletter subscriber. And it knows what date I subscribed. Excuse me. Then the number two interesting function is that you can really open the door to e-commerce email marketing. So Constant Contact's email marketing for e-commerce tools are built to help your online store grow. So you can find new customers, keep them engaged, and keep them coming back for more with those segments that we just talked about and sending out automated emails. So it's really cool because Constant Contact, if you're creating like an online store, can really offer everything you need to turn a lead into a really loyal customer. So like we mentioned, if I'm shopping on your beauty product website, now I will get all these different layers of emails that are automated that I, as the company, have set up on the back end for people. So it really helps you to open the door to e-commerce, and I think really will result in some great sales for you when you dive into a system like this. So number three is that Constant Contact has easy contact management. So what's really great about all of these platforms, honestly, is that you can upload your contact list from a variety of different places. So I don't know how many of you guys use like an Excel sheet to perhaps keep track of your contacts right now, but that's a really great tool to use if you don't have a system like this in place. And so what you can do is as you've compiled all your contacts into that Excel sheet, you can then easily upload that Excel sheet directly into Constant Contact, and it will automatically organize all of your contacts for you. I will say it's really helpful to organize them in different columns. Number one being email, number two being first name, number three, last name. Those are the most important columns for you. And then you can add in other columns too, like if you want their physical mailing address to be in your contact management system, you can put that in there. You can also create a column for their phone number because some of these platforms have text messaging also built in that you can integrate. So those are all really important pieces. I always say the more information, the better when you're building out your list, So even like putting in their gender or city that they live in, et cetera, is really great. And then Constant Contact easily keeps track of how many unsubscribes you've received, who is bouncing, and gives you just all sorts of automatic updates about your contacts. And then you can use Constant Contact's email list building tools to add new contacts in person. So maybe somebody's saying, hey, like you're at a conference, I would really love to be on your newsletter. So I can easily add them myself. And then I can also have a website widget that's integrated where people can sign up for my newsletter on my website. And then you can also even have a little widget in your Facebook or Instagram to allow people to sign up for your newsletter too. And then the fourth interesting function is that you can track your email marketing results in real time and improve them in no time. So Constant Contact provides real-time tracking tools. So like you saw in the video, they'll show you who's actually opening the emails, who is clicking it, so that's the click-through rate, and who's even sharing your emails. So you can even build in for people to share your email newsletter on their own social media platforms or so on. So now we're gonna watch, this is about like a 4 or 5 minute video tutorial about how to use Constant Contact. I personally do not use Constant Contact for my business, but I have for some clients, and I watched this video and thought that it was really, really great. So I hope you guys feel the same, and I think this will be really helpful for those of you who maybe have an account, just haven't gotten started yet. So I'll go ahead and play this one. Whoops.
Welcome to your Constant Contact account. This video tutorial will go over everything from adding your contacts to creating and sending your first email. We'll also take a quick look at reporting and the different ways you can grow your contact list. Let's get started with adding your contacts. Click the Contacts tab and then click Add Contacts. From the drop-down, choose how you want to add your contacts. You can either type in one, paste in a few, or add them from a spreadsheet. Let's add them from a spreadsheet. Click Upload from File. Either drag your file into the provided area or click Browse your computer. Once you select your file, you'll be prompted to match your columns to our columns. This tells us which column holds the email address, first name, etc. When you're finished, click Continue. Now you have to pick the list to put them in. We created the general interest list for you, but you can create a new list for your contacts if you'd like. Then just click Import. You've now added your contacts. So what's the next step? Creating your email. Head over to the Campaigns tab and then click Create. Scroll through the available templates and just click one to select it. Once you're in the editor, you can quickly build your design. Click any block to edit it and put in your content. You can add other blocks by just clicking and dragging them. It may take some time to design the perfect email, but when you're finished, click Continue. This is where you can schedule your email. Select the list you just added and then choose to either send it now or at a later date and time. Once you're happy with your selection, click Schedule. We've just gone over 2 major parts of using Constant Contact. So what's next? Looking at your reports. Once you start getting opens and clicks, all of your results will display on the Reporting tab. Here, you can see high-level reporting data on how your campaign did. You can see your most engaged subject line and where you got the most opens, either on mobile or desktop. Scrolling down, you can see a graph of all of your emails and their percentage of opens and clicks. Going down a little further, you can see a table breakdown of your results. Click on any hyperlinked number to drill down into the specifics. Need an Excel sheet of this information? Just click Export All as CSV. Or if you just need results for one email, select it and then click Export Selected as CSV. Moving right along, let's take a look at growing your list with Constant Contact. On the Sign Up Forms page, you can click to create a sign-up form. Choose between a pop-up sign-up form, an inline sign-up form, or a landing page sign-up form. Editing your form is similar to editing your email. Just click each section to fill out and customize your form. Pop-up and inline forms need to be embedded on your website. So if you're not sure how to do that, get in contact with your web designer or take a look at our install guide. Once you've added your form to your website, you can start collecting contacts in the place they visit you most. That's really everything you need to know about getting started with Constant Contact. As always, we're here to help. Check out our knowledge base for more how-to articles, video tutorials, and quick start guides.
All right, guys, so that was just a quick overview on how to get started with Constant Contact. I will say that I think it's super important for those of you who have a website to go ahead and create one of those forms that she discussed in the tutorial video. So you can create a form that's in line with your website or a pop-up that you can embed in the back end of your website. So I love when, some people hate it, but I love it when I log on to a website and I see a pop-up that says, hey, get a free, whatever with your purchase just by signing up for our newsletter. A lot of larger like restaurant chains, I know Nothing But Noodles is one that I went to a lot in college. They always had a pop-up whenever I log on to their website, hey, just by subscribing to our newsletter, get a free bowl of noodles whenever you come in. And so I would sign up with my email and I'd get a free bowl of noodles. And so I think it's really cool. Definitely incentivizing to somebody to sign up if they get something for free. So keep that in mind, especially if you're selling something. But it's really easy to embed on the back end of your website. If you are using a platform like Squarespace, Weebly, WordPress, there are lots of really great tutorials out there about how to embed code in the back end of your website that I would definitely recommend that you use. Otherwise, I would certainly contact like your website provider, whoever has helped you to build your business's website. But that is like my number one takeaway from today, is to go ahead and sign up for any one of these email marketing softwares and put that on your website so you can start growing your list. Because, of course, you can have one of these accounts like Mailchimp or Constant Contact, but if you don't have anybody in your audience, then what's the point of it? So go ahead and start collecting some of these contacts and then go ahead and start sending out your newsletters. So next up, we're going to talk about pricing for Constant Contact. So I know that some of you are on a budget, you're a small business. I hear you, I am right there with you. So I think Constant Contact is pretty affordable. For the basic account, it's called Email is the name of the account, and it's $20 a month, and you get unlimited emails that you can send out to your contacts. And then it does allow you to have some basic e-commerce integrated, and it only allows you up to 500 contacts. So what happens after you've reached that 500 contact threshold is that you will have to pay in different increments for how many new users you add. So one thing that I don't necessarily love about Constant Contact is that they will sometimes put you in touch with like a salesperson. So after you've reached up to those 500 contacts, sometimes they might request for you to have a call with one of their salespeople and whatnot, and they'll try to like sell you on more things. So I don't really love that, but I mean, I totally get it. They're also a business too. So I have taken some calls with their sales team, and you can negotiate often. So keep that in mind. And then the next tier is called Email Plus, and it's $45 a month. It has way more advanced e-commerce that you can build into your newsletters. And then it has more automated emails available. So like we talked about the different tiers, like if somebody lands on your website, it can send them a welcome email, then like 5 days from now, send them another offer, and so on. And then one thing that the email account, the $20 a month, does not have, that the Email Plus does have, is that A/B testing. So you can see, which newsletter is going to do the best, or like what subject line is going to do the best for that newsletter. And then it will send the winning email out to everybody. And then another kind of interesting thing is that Email Plus only allows up to 500 contacts as well. So basically, you just have to choose which one you would rather have based on um, your ability to like send out different tiers and have more e-commerce built into it. So I did want to make this aware for you guys that there is a chart that's on their website that I'm sharing right now. And so there's a chart right here that goes over the email plan and then Email Plus. And you can see all the different types of things that they have available and what the Plus account has versus the just regular email account. So definitely go ahead and take a look at that if you're interested in using Constant Contact. And I will say they do a great job of giving you a free trial. So you don't have to have like your credit card info in there. There's no risk, no hidden cost, etc. So if you're just really interested to see what the platform's all about, definitely recommend starting that free trial. I'm not sure exactly how long the free trial is, but it's probably at least like a week or so. Alrighty. So next up, we're going to be talking about Mailchimp. And so like I mentioned, we're going to do a pretty deep dive into Mailchimp. I'm going to go into the back end and show you how to create a campaign and like how to organize your audience and different things like that. So 3 different interesting functions of Mailchimp that we'll go over. Number 1 is that Mailchimp is super sophisticated. It integrates with 300 plus different apps that are out there. So I'm not going to go over all 300 of them, obviously, today, but some of my favorite examples of the different integrations, number 1 is Canva. This is huge. So for those of you who have not used Canva before, highly recommend it. Canva is used to create awesome graphics, and they already have like some stock images built in that you can use and edit. So like if you ever notice people on social media having like beautiful graphics with text over them, they look really professional, chances are they used something like Canva to create that. So it's absolutely free to use Canva. There are some instances where maybe you want to use one of their templates, so you might have to pay like $1 to use it or whatnot. But it's a really wonderful tool, and Mailchimp actually already has it built in when you integrate that app. So you can use Canva and directly integrate your Canva designs into your newsletter on Mailchimp. And then something else that's really neat is that Mailchimp integrates with an app called Simple Texting. So like I mentioned, whenever you're creating maybe like that Excel spreadsheet of all of your contacts before you're going to upload them into a service like Mailchimp, you can add in a column that says like phone or cell phone, and then add in all the phone numbers that you have. And so Mailchimp will actually know like if you want to send out a text to somebody with like a special discount or something along those lines, it'll use your Mailchimp contacts and be able to text them. So that's a pretty neat function. And then it does integrate with Slack, which I know we've brought up a lot during this series, and we're going to talk about Slack next week. But so Mailchimp integrates perfectly with Slack, and you can receive automatic updates on campaign performance and when people are subscribing to your newsletter. So Slack will send you like a little notification anytime something like this happens on your Mailchimp platform. So then number 2 in the interesting functions of Mailchimp is that you can build campaigns in minutes. So Mailchimp has pre-built templates similar to like Constant Contact and Moosin and all those different platforms that we've talked about today. And it has ready-made segments and one-click automations that are available right inside of the Mailchimp platform. And they have really intuitive design tools, which I will show you in just a second. And it's just super easy to create like a really nice, stunning looking campaign, I think, that puts your brand like front and center when somebody is opening it. And then number 3 is that Mailchimp also has those built-in analytics so you can market smarter. So some of the cool features, Mailchimp lets you know when's the best time to send my campaign. So Mailchimp will go ahead and start collecting data as you send out email campaigns, and they'll give you like your send time optimization. So they'll let you know like, hey, you sent an email out at 5 p.m. That wasn't so great. Everybody, probably was in the car driving home from work. But when you sent out the other email at 7 p.m., it got a much higher open rate. So Mailchimp will start to get to know your company and all of your contacts and see what time is the best time to send the campaign. And then Mailchimp does have a subject line helper. And so this is really cool because it can give you real-time feedback on how to craft subject lines that your contacts absolutely cannot resist. So, instead of like a boring subject line, definitely get creative and witty and think of something that you would want to open. I know we all get bombarded with emails every day, but what's going to be catchy and get me to open that email? So Mailchimp can also help you to design those, since they have a ton of data on all these other businesses out there that are using their platform. And then what I really like is that Mailchimp has a mobile app. So you can download the Mailchimp mobile app and it will give you like real-time notifications, which is super cool. So anytime I send out a newsletter, I have it integrated into my phone, and it will let me know when people are like purchasing something, or different things like that, what actions they're taking. So it's a pretty cool function. And then did want to go over pricing for Mailchimp. So before we jump into the back end of Mailchimp, I just wanted to let you know that Mailchimp has a really wonderful free program. I've been using it for some of our clients for a while, and it has all the basics. It gives you one-click automations, and I listed some other types of things that are involved in the free plan. And then the Essentials plan is $9.99 a month, and it gives you access to all the email templates. So in the free plan, you can only access a certain number of the free templates. And then in the Essentials plan, it will give you A/B testing capability, whereas the free plan does not. And then they also give you 24/7 award-winning support, is what they say for the Essential plan. But there's a huge list, which is why I'm going to pull it up, of all the different types of levels of Mailchimp plans. So of course, they're recommending the standard plan. It's $14.99 a month. But I would go ahead and take a look at this because there's a ton of different things that Mailchimp has. I mean, you can see I'm scrolling forever, and just see what's the best fit for you. And you can also calculate your price. So I will say the free version only allows a certain number of contacts. So in the one that you're going to see today, I've reached my contact limit. I believe it's around 600 contacts. So if I'm going over 600 people, I will have to start paying a little bit more. So that's why it's, I think a fairly affordable price. For like the standard, it's, $15, or Essentials is $10. So I think it's a really good deal. And I'm sure that if you're selling products, that you'll get your money back in a flash, especially if you're going to integrate that into the back end and track, are my newsletter subscribers buying things from my website or from my business? So that is the pricing. And then next up, we're going to do a tutorial about how to create a new audience and how to like upload some of your email contacts. And then we'll create an email campaign together. So I'm going to pull open my Mailchimp account. And so I will say I am using my Mailchimp account for one of our clients who is a restaurant in Warrenton. So for those of you that are from Warrenton, it's for Robinson Ferry Restaurant. So this is what it'll look like as soon as you log in. And so you'll see that I'm signed in. It lets me know Robinson Ferry. You can, which I think is really great, like for somebody like my business for Tabletop, I can have multiple different types of businesses logged in under one Mailchimp account. So maybe, you have a farm, and so you have your farm name, and maybe you're also an owner of a restaurant. And so you could have your restaurant up under your login. So you can have multiple accounts that are logged in under your name. So under Kristen, if I wanted to. So just something kind of helpful, especially like I know we have some folks here that have like online blogs. So it'd be really cool if you had like a newsletter for your blog, but maybe you're also a business owner and you want to have that account right there. So it just helps to keep you pretty organized. That's a big plus about Mailchimp. So say I want to start, really growing my audience and setting them up for success. So what I would do is click here on the audience tab, and you can see all your different analytics right here. I have 601 contacts, and you'll see that 566 are subscribers. So over time, I've had, a little more than like 30 or so fall off because maybe they're bouncing or perhaps they've unsubscribed. So that's just something kind of cool that Mailchimp will let you know. And you can click on this number to see all of your audience folks right here. So whenever you click on this number and you see all of your audience members, you'll see that I have like their email address plugged in. If I had data for their first and last name, it would be here. And then there's a section called tags. So this is the section that I think is super important. You'll see that for this account, it's not super built out yet, but for tags, we have them tagged as newsletter. So say, since this is a restaurant, we're going to have them tagged as newsletter, but maybe I just hosted a wine dinner. So I know that all those people that bought tickets for my wine dinner will likely buy tickets again for an upcoming wine dinner. So maybe I create a new tag just on their emails that says wine dinner. And then I know now that in the future, if I wanted to send out a campaign, like announcing that they get first dibs on tickets, just my wine dinner tagged people would get that newsletter before I send it out to my mass newsletter list. So that's just one way that tags can really do some great work for you. So I think that's also kind of cool to do if, maybe somebody attended an event. So perhaps you're like a yoga studio and somebody attended your grand opening event or whatnot. You could add them and say like grand opening. That way you know who's been taking what action and what type of tag they fall under, and then really target them specifically with your campaigns. So that's kind of a fun tip. It's pretty great. You can easily add or remove tags. So say I wanted to go find those wine dinner folks, I could easily search by using this search tool right here. So maybe Wendy, I'm just using that. Well, we don't have a Wendy, but let's say Kristen attended the wine dinner. I can easily search for her name, and then I can view Kristen's profile, and then I can easily add a tag for her. So I'm going to add the newsletter tag, but then I'm also going to add the wine dinner tag. So you simply go in there, add the plus sign, create this new tag, and then now you'll see I have all these different tags for Kristen on here. And on the back end, on each person, if you wanted to get really particular, you could even write notes here. So maybe she is one of your best customers, like best customer. And so I could write a note on there. And so that way, now I have like a quick internal note that, oh, she's a really great customer. Maybe you have a customer who's kind of finicky or really picky about like, her food or whatnot. You could write that note in there too. So, I mean, you can get really internal, and I think it's great to know some of these things on the back end, and just a great way to organize everything. So you can also see one person in particular, all of their data about how they interact with your email. So I wanted to be sure to pull this up. So this is my email. And so whenever Robinson Ferry sends me an email, I have 100% open rate. So you know that Kristen is really loving your emails. She's always opening them. So that's fantastic. And then you can see her click rate. So she has 16.7% click rate. So maybe when Robinson Ferry sent Kristen an email, it said order online, and she clicked that button. So she's clicking that about 16.7% of the time. Then if you connect your store, which you'll see right here, connect your store, say Robinson Ferry started an online store where they're selling their t-shirts and spices and rubs and things like that, I could connect my store to get data about each of my newsletter subscribers. So then these numbers, total revenue, and then average order value would be updated. So that would be super cool for me to see that, hey, Kristen is actually purchasing, $1,000 a month from us, or, she's purchasing like $10 on average every order, or so on. So it'll give you some really unique data right there. So that's a great way to see who some of your biggest customers are as well. And then perhaps some of your biggest customers, maybe you want to add a tag, best customers, and then you could send them a certain email letting them know that they're going to have access to like a special sale before everybody else on your newsletter list. So those are just really great ways to keep them tagged. And I know like Sherry from Vance Greenville is on the call today. So another great way, like for instance, what you could do for the Small Business Center is have a tag doing business remotely. And that way, now you've subscribed everybody who went to the Doing Business Remotely series, you've subscribed them to your newsletter, and you have a tag that they've attended that. And then maybe in the future, if we wanted to do another series kind of similar, you could send them an email specifically targeting them like, hey, we know that you loved this series, we'd love for you to come back and attend our next series coming up. So it's a really cool way to keep things organized. And then you'll scroll down more and you can see even more about your audience. So on April 21st, Kristen was sent this email called Nachos and Lemonade, and she opened the email a minute after it was sent. And then you can see when she clicked a link and all sorts of great stats. So it really does drill down and give you some wonderful information about your audience. So how do you actually go in and manage the audience and add new people? So Mailchimp gives you a really easy way just to add a single subscriber. So you can do this from the app and also from the computer. So you can click in here, add a subscriber. So say I wanted to add, I'm just seeing who's on here. I'm going to add Claude Burrows to my email list. So here's his email, his first name and last name, and I'm going to go ahead and tag him as a newsletter person. But maybe I also wanted to create a new tag. I could do that right here as well. And then you do have to select that this person gave me permission to email them, and that you can also add another button. If this person is already in my audience, I can update their profile. So I could go ahead and click that if I wanted. Maybe I only had his email and I forgot to put his first and last name, and I didn't have a tag for him. So that would be a great option to go ahead and select that. And so I will say one thing that's super important is you'll see some people out there that are like trying to sell you email list and get you to purchase those and whatnot. That is really kind of frowned upon. I would never add somebody to your list unless they've given you permission to email them. So I definitely strongly advise against like purchasing email lists from people or whatnot because it is really not allowed. And so people can report you if you've like stolen an email list or purchased one and added them to your list. Those are pretty proprietary. So just keep that in mind as you are building out your newsletter. That's why it's super important for people to opt in. You'll see that a lot. So that's why I always say, like, my number one takeaway was go ahead and add that little box into your website that says like sign up for our newsletter, because as soon as somebody inserts their email address and opts in, they're now a subscriber and they have given you permission to email them. So that is super important and another takeaway. So I'm going to go ahead and hit subscribe. And so now it will tell me mission accomplished. Claude was successfully added to my audience. And then I can go in and view his profile if I needed to. And then if I wanted to delete him, I could unsubscribe him, or I could remove the contact or whatnot. So I'll see that right now he doesn't have any information because he's never been sent a newsletter. So that's a really quick, easy way to add a subscriber. But maybe I have a huge list of contacts that I want to import. So that's where I would go to import contacts. So you can see there's a wide variety of different ways that, that you can import contacts. So I always recommend using the CSV file. So super easy to do, and I can try to find a link that I'll send to Sherry whenever she's sending the follow-up out. But you can easily convert your Excel files to a CSV file. What you do is when you're downloading that file or saving that file, you just have to select CSV instead of an Excel document. So make sure that you're selecting that before you're uploading it. So after you select CSV, you would click continue. And then it will ask for you to upload that CSV file. So you'll browse, you'll find the file from your computer, click open, and then easily import that file. So that's a cool way to do that right there. And then we're gonna go back. You can also copy and paste from a file. So let's say continue. I wanna copy a ton of different email addresses. I can do that in here, and it will easily add that person. So right now I'm just gonna type myself in here for an example. And I understand that my billing plan may be automatically upgraded. So since right now I'm on that cusp, I think it was 600 people, it might need to upgrade my billing plan for me to add more people to my audience for when I'm gonna send out my next email. So do keep that in mind, it will give you alerts. And then Amy said, is there a way, I just saw her chat, sorry for just now seeing it, but she's asking, is there a way to automatically add those tags in? So that was a great question. And this is a great way to go ahead and add those tags. So when you are importing your contacts, maybe right now you're adding a huge list of people that have bought from your farm. So you could go ahead and add like farm purchaser or whatever. So you could add that tag right there. And then now all these people on your contacts will have that tag. But another great thing that you can do is when you're building out that Excel file and then converting it to your CSV, you can create a section called tags, and you can put all the tags with a comma next to them, like, you know, newsletter, comma, farm purchaser, comma, staff, comma, client, whatever you have, and it will automatically add those tags for you when you're importing them. So it's a really great question, Amy. Thank you for asking that. So definitely recommend using those tags. And then of course, they're going to be subscribed. And then I always like to hit update existing contacts if this is the most like up-to-date version of your spreadsheet. So that's a quick overview of how you organize all your imported contacts and your audience. So that's under that audience tool, manage audience, import contacts. So then another quick thing is under the audience, you can create those sign-up forms. Similar to Constant Contact, Mailchimp also has where you can have a form builder or embedded forms. So, or like a pop-up or something like that. So say I want to do a subscriber pop-up for my website. So it's going to be embedded and be a pop-up right when somebody comes on my website. I can select this, and then I can go ahead and use Mailchimp to design how this is going to look. So this is exactly how my pop-up is going to look on desktop, and then I can toggle over to mobile. So this is how my pop-up will look. I can go ahead and, you know, add in a nice photo if I wanted to. So I'm going to use this photo of nachos, and then I'm going to, you know, tweak the text and everything. That's under the content. So you'll be able to toggle over here. There's design, fields, and content. So if I wanted to change where it says subscribe right here, I'll go in here and say, sign up for our newsletter. And then I can also change the font if I wanted to. I can change the size of it. Maybe I want it to be, you know, huge. I can underline. I can make it different colors. There's a huge variety of things that I can do. And then at the end, after somebody has subscribed to your newsletter, you can also give them a sign up success message, which I think is really important. You could say, thank you for subscribing, or you can say like, you know, be on the lookout for your special offer soon. Thank you for subscribing. So you can do all sorts of kind of cool things right there. And then you can add in a footer if you wanted. So you could say like special deals coming soon or whatever. So you can really get creative, make it look nice. You can add in different colors. You can make the button right here, subscribe, be a different color. Maybe you want it to be that bright red color. So the world is your oyster here. There's a lot of different cool stuff that you can do. And then as soon as you're done with this, you'll click generate code, and right there Mailchimp will give you that code that you can copy. And then on the back end of your website, simply paste that code in. So like I said, definitely see if there are some tutorials, like if you're using a WordPress website, just quickly search how to embed code onto my WordPress website, and it will give you all the walkthrough instructions. But if you're kind of unsure about that, send me an email and I can try to help you, or reach out to whoever created your website for you. But that's a really simple way to go ahead and have that pop-up now to be on your website. So that's how you create like a pop-up form. And then there's all sorts of other different options right here. You can even add a Facebook form, add a sign-up form to your Facebook page, and all sorts of just kind of bells and whistles back here. So really cool trick for your audience right there. So next up, I know that I'm kind of running over a little bit, but I'll kind of go through this a little bit quickly. So it's the campaign section. So this is the most important part, is creating that beautiful campaign. So that beautiful newsletter that's going to go out. So you can see in here that I have all of my campaigns listed and things that I've sent. So you'll see that one of our most popular newsletters was actually sent this month. So this is a restaurant, like I said, that's in Warrenton, and they got a shipment of toilet paper in. And you can imagine right now, people are still in need of toilet paper. So we created the subject line, "We have toilet paper!" exclamation point, plus new menu items. This newsletter had 197 opens, an open rate of 40.4%, which is huge. I would say the industry standard is around like a 15 to 20% open rate. So the fact that we got 40% open rate is really awesome. And then we had 44 people click a link, and the link that I had included in there was order now. So that means they're directly taking action and potentially ordering on the Robinson Ferry website. So it's really cool. Under the campaigns, you can see the different action that people took. And then you can even click view report. And if my online store was linked, I could see the average order revenue and total revenue. I can see how many people opened it, how many people clicked, how many bounces or unsubscribes. And then I can see my 24-hour performance. So at 7 p.m., I sent out that newsletter. And then you can see that it jumps up to 59 opens by 8 p.m., which was great. Then 29 more people opened it by 9, and then slowly it trickled down. Then you'll see the next day, I had more opens, like at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m. So this is something really great to take a look at to see what time is doing the best for you. So obviously, right when you send out an email, it'll have a pretty large spike, but then you'll see, you know what? Hey, Robinson Ferry folks are up kind of early. So maybe we should try to send out our email at, 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. So that might be a better option instead of like middle of the day where you see we don't have as many opens. So something to definitely take a look at. And then you can see the top links clicked. So it was the Robinson Ferry delivery link, which took us right to the page to where people can order food for delivery. And then we had some folks click the takeout menu. And then we didn't have anybody click the links to our social media handles. So, and it'll also give you the subscribers with the most opens and all your different locations. So we had 8 people from Canada to take a look, and then 357 from the US. So pretty neat that you can see all of these stats based on just one quick email. So say I want to go in and create a campaign now. So I'm going to click this button, create a campaign, and then I can search through all the different templates if I wanted to. So I'm creating an email campaign, and I'm going to create just a regular email. So it'll walk you through the steps. I'm going to call this test 1, 2, 3 for my campaign email, begin. And then I'm just going to use their regular builder for this. But if I wanted to use a template, I could have selected that in the previous step, and I could have searched through all of their hundreds of templates that Mailchimp offers. So something else to keep in mind. So what you do is you just simply walk through all the steps with Mailchimp. So 2, I can edit my recipients. I'm sending it to my audience called the Ferry newsletter. But now I just want to send it to the people who were subscribed to the wine dinner segment. So that's why those segments and tags are really important. So I'm going to send it to my wine dinner, or maybe I want to send it to my best customers so I can toggle right there. So I'm going to send it to the wine dinner. Personalize the to field. So this is something I would only recommend using if you are very organized and have kept your newsletter up to date. So the worst thing is when I get an email that says, hello, and then it has like a line for like my blank name with a comma. You don't want one of your subscribers to see that unless you have their name, hello, Kristen, inserted into the to field. So I would only click that if you're pretty organized and have kept up with everybody's first name. So that's when it'll say like, hey, Kristen, take a look at our new menu this week. So keeping that in mind is important. So then Mailchimp will give you a little check mark. So all of my recipients and my tags are complete, so I can move on to the from field. So I'll add from. So this is who's your email from. So this is being sent from Robinson Ferry. So I'm going to put that as the name. So whenever somebody is getting an email from us, it says Robinson Ferry. And then it has our email address automatically inserted in here. So I'll hit save. Now that check box is complete. So the subject line for the campaign. So the subject, I'm going to think of something witty. So we have toilet paper, using that as an example. I can also add in special characters, so different emojis here if I wanted to. So maybe I wanted to use in like a thumbs up. We have toilet paper. I could do that. And then the preview text, this is like a short little snippet that will appear in your inbox after the subject line. So maybe I wanted to say, it's true. We do, or something kind of witty and catchy. So that'll appear after the subject, we have toilet paper. So I'm going to save that. My subject line is good to go. Then the next step is the content. So before we hop into the content, I do want to tell you about the below things that I think is always really great to check out too. So Mailchimp will actually allow you to create a unique campaign URL. So right now it took my subject line, we have toilet paper, but maybe I wanted to change it to April 23rd because that's the date today. So I can easily edit a campaign link, and then you can use this link to add like to any of your social media posts if you wanted to. So that way that your newsletter now becomes a link that lives on the internet and people can click on that even if they're not subscribed and see what you had to say on your newsletter. And then perhaps I wanted to instantly, when my campaign is sent out, share it on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I can connect all of those pages here and it will automatically post to my social media networks as Robinson Ferry. So those are some other kind of cool things. So now we're going to go back into the content section and design our email. So like I said, I could have selected the template earlier on, or I can go ahead and select one here if I wanted to. It will have you upgrade if you want to use some of like the more advanced things. So like fall colors right here, upgrade to use, you'll see that button. So if I have, I'm using the free account right now, so that's why I can't use that. But maybe I wanted to select this one. I think it looks nice. I'll go ahead and click on that one. And this one is a free one that I'm able to use. So we're going to use this template in Mailchimp, and it sometimes takes a couple seconds to load just because it's a lot that it's working on. So you'll see right now it has the logo of this brand right here, but you know what? That's not my company. I'm going to replace it with my logo. So I'm just going to use this one for a quick example. So it'll automatically replace that. I can drag and drop it. I can make it different sizes. So, you know, for Robinson Ferry, I would have ideally put the Robinson Ferry logo here. And then it will also give you little like error messages or just like quick little flags. So it says that this image is so big, it might cause slow load times or get clipped in people's inboxes. So it says you want to aim for an 800 to 1200 pixel wide instead. So I can click Let's Fix It, and Mailchimp will help me to fix this. So I'll just, you know, fix the size, hit save, and then it will, that error message would have gone away. So there we go. Mailchimp automatically fixed it. So now I'm not gonna obliterate somebody's inbox. So I'm gonna hit save and close. And then next up, they have a fun picture right here. So I'm going to replace this picture and I'm gonna put this photo, or let's see, this photo of shrimp and grits. So I'm popping that up. And then you'll see that they have a little code that was entered here. So I could go ahead and change that if I wanted to, just by typing in here. And I can look at the style, the background color, hot pink is not our color. I'm gonna change it to that red color. Or I can play around and click whatever I wanted to. I can even add borders in here, all sorts of different things. So I'm gonna hit save and close. And then I can add in different text blocks if I'd like, change the style and font and whatnot. So I always say it's really important to start off your newsletter with your logo, number one, then add like a really catchy photo. And then if you're giving them like a code to use online, I think that's great to be front and center. And then also buttons are your best friend. So I know we talked about dragging and dropping. So say I added in everything and I wanted people to order from my restaurant. So I'm gonna drag this button and drop it wherever I want on my newsletter. So I'm going to put it right under my logo, and they automatically create a button that's this blue color, but you can easily go in there and edit it in the style. So I'm going to make it be black, and then I want it to have a bigger size, so 30. And then I can pick my font. I want it to be Lucida font. And then I can add in all my content. So I'm gonna say order now in all caps. And then it will let me link to my website, to an email, an anchor link, or a file. So most of the time I would say you're linking to a website address. And I'm gonna put in my website address that I want people to go to. And then I hit save and close. So it's as simple as that, dragging and dropping things. Maybe I want a divider to go in between the order button and the photo. So it'll let me add in a quick divider. You can also add in image groups. So maybe I wanted, you know, 2 images side by side, and then I easily just upload an attachment. I can select from my computer by clicking the upload button and then finding a quick photo. This is a beautiful lake sunset, and I will upload it. So Mailchimp will upload your photo, and then as soon as it's uploaded, it will pop into your gallery and you can use it. So for now, it's uploaded, I click on it, you'll see that it's selected, and I'll insert. So now I have one image right there, and I could save and close and continue on. Some other kind of cool things, you can add in a promo code right here, and it's a great little button to, it's being glitchy for some reason right now. So it's a great button that you can use and have people shop now with a promo code. So after I'm done building out my newsletter, I'm going to hit continue. And then what happens is it lets me know that everything looks good to go. So I always like to just do a quick double check. My to field is filled out, my from field, my subject, and my content. I will say this was a little bit confusing in the beginning because up top it has edit name test 1, 2, 3. So this giant text that's at the very top is just what I've internally named the campaign. So this is just for my internal purposes. Test 1, 2, 3 is not going to be sent out to my audience. The only subject that will be sent out is what appears right here in the subject line. So then I'm going to send a test email. Absolutely important to do before you are ready to send out your test email. So like I mentioned, kind of a plus about Emma, one of the softwares that we talked about is that there is a dashboard that will let other people in your business know that you have a pending project. So on Mailchimp, they don't have anything like that, but I do like the test email function. So you can send a test to Kristen at Tabletop, and then maybe I also want to send it to Stacy at Tabletop. So I could type in her email address right there too. Then I can include instructions in a personal message. So this is the part where you could say, hey, can you take a look and approve this? So that's what it would look like if I was going to send out a quick approval. So I'm just going to take Stacy off. I'm just going to send it to Kristen, send a test, and then it says, Bon voyage, your test email has been sent. So then what I'll do is I'll log into my email account and I'll give Mailchimp just a couple of seconds. I'll have to refresh my inbox, but I should have a test email. There it is, Robinson Ferry test. So it'll say test. And then this is what it's going to look like. So you'll see there's a little black box up here. Hey, can you take a look and approve this? Kristen Tabor sent this to you. So this is what our test email looks like. Ooh, this does not look good to go. We're going to have to go back in and edit it. So I know that, hey, you have some like boxes that you haven't edited. There's, some stuff that's off brand, whatnot, but you'll see what it looks like. There's a little footer that they add into the bottom with the mailing address. And you always have to give somebody the option to unsubscribe. That is like a legality of sending out emails, that you always have to give them an option that they can unsubscribe from your list. So that will automatically be added in there by Mailchimp. And it will always include the Mailchimp icon. Any kind of email platform will do that too. So you'll always know what platform it's coming from. So then say it is good to go. I could go ahead and hit send, and it would send it immediately. Or I can hit schedule. So schedule, I'll be able to go ahead and select a date. Maybe I want to send it in June or July. And then I can let Mailchimp optimize the send time like we talked about. So you do have to upgrade to get that option. Or I can go ahead and select my specific time that I want it sent. And then I can click batch delivery. So that would be like, if I have a really, really large audience, that's also an upgrade tool. Or I can send it like, depending on different time zones and stuff like that. That's all more like upgraded accounts on Mailchimp. And then I would simply hit schedule a campaign, and it would go ahead and schedule out my campaign to go out July 2nd at 3:15. So pretty cool tool right there. And then as soon as I am sending that out, it will get sent out to my audience, and I can go back into my campaigns and check out the real-time reports. So it would show me right here how many open rates I would have and how many clicks. So something kind of great. And then just another like quick tip and trick before we end today's session. Say I really love the look of last week's email that I sent out. I can simply find the campaign. I'm going to the Nachos and Lemonade, and I can click this little drop down button that says replicate. So I do this pretty much for all of our clients because a lot of them already have like beautiful custom built content campaigns already. And so then I can just go in, it creates a copy of my old newsletter, and I can hit edit design. And then I'll be able to keep my design looking consistent. You can see we have different colors that are already selected. It's clean and simple, different photos, and I can just go ahead and easily edit this out for this week's menu that's launching. So another little helpful tip and trick. So that is all I have for you guys today. I know that was a lot, and if you guys have questions, I would definitely be willing to answer those for you. And feel free to email me if you'd like. I'm going to put in my personal email address as well into the chat box. And feel free, like I said, always feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to help you if you're having trouble with anything. Hopefully that helped you guys out a good bit. Definitely recommend try it before you buy it. So get into Mailchimp, get into Constant Contact, start trying it out, organizing your lists, segmenting them, and all that kind of stuff. And I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And I'll take a look at the chat, and if I missed any questions, I'll follow up with you guys individually. And real quick, Melissa said, what formula do you use for when and how much to contact, like specific times of day, specific days? So like I mentioned in the presentation, I would certainly take a look and see what's working best for your contacts. So I like to look at my past email campaigns to see like, hey, you know, our audience at Robinson Ferry is really opening stuff in the morning. So maybe that would be the best time of day for me to send it. And then I test that out for a couple of weeks. As far as how often to contact people, I think that's like a personal preference for your business. I mean, I get emails every day from some companies and it drives me crazy. So as a business owner, I probably wouldn't send somebody an email every day, but maybe like once a week is okay. Like if you're a restaurant and you're launching new specials, or maybe it's just more like once a month. I know a lot of people that have like a monthly newsletter. So I think that would be really great. So cool. Well, I'm really glad that you guys got a lot out of this, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any other questions. And I'm going to go ahead and end the recording. I appreciate you guys a lot. And we will be sending out all of these slides and also the recording. So if you want to take a look at this, reference anything that I mentioned, you're welcome to do that. And Sherry will be sending that out from Vance Greenville. So thank you guys.